locked with clamps. Um, Mr. Lewis, or sorry, not Mr. Lewis, but Lewis, rushed in and he says, "How can I get to the meter? Because I need to read the meter." And I said to him, "I have a gate that I'll show you." I said, "Usually, Department of Water and Power, when they do come in and they try to ask to read the meter, they pretty much read the meter by by me having a stool outside, and they stand on the stool, peek over the fence, and they try to read the numbers, whatever they need to read, and they say, 'All right, you can go,' because I have a dog in the backyard just for another buddy, another family, because I do live here by myself. Um, Name Buster, love the dog. Mr. Lewis says, 'No, I can't see. I need to be much closer.' So I says, 'Okay.' So I had Mr. Lewis walk through this garage door. My car wasn't parked inside. My car was parked outside at the time. Mr. Lewis walked through this garage door along here. Behind this toolbox is a door. I usually have the toolbox so nobody tries to kick in that door when I'm upstairs sleeping late at night. Mr. Lewis went through here. I will have a video showing exactly where and what he did once the sun does come up. And he pretty much says, "We're here to take your box apart." And I says, "Why?" He says, "Because we've had a report where somebody has tampered with this box." Okay. Somebody's tampered with the box, and that's why you need to open this box. But before he said he's here to read. So as he's opening the box, with the fire department, we always went safety first, and usually when you don't have your gloves, you get hammered to the point that you can't ride along. You don't have your gloves with you. You forgot them at home, or you forgot them in somewhere. Usually lost and found was at inside the refrigerator. You leave anything laying around my house, ends up in the refrigerator. Um, but that was a very good way of training and discipline. So that way, if you're holding a fire hose, or if you can't hold your bare hands, slip out, at least you have your gloves, so that way you have some sort of securing your hands from any type of hazards that's possible. And being a firefighter, you're just looking into the eyes of death um, all your entire career, pretty much. And I have many gloves, because without gloves, you can't really do anything. I have some gloves here, some gloves here, and more gloves laying around. Um, I have some gloves here. I have used up glove here. Just one pair usually. I have both pairs, but it's used. I have new ones. Lewis decides to touch the board without gloves, and kind of scared me as a homeowner, because it's kind of unusual having people just trying to say some sort of an authority that they're here from, or they have the authority to be here because they are investigators, which he did not mention anything um, until the end, when they just turned the power off and they were getting ready to leave. He gives me that business card. Well, Aaron wrote the business card since he was so busy trying to explain to me, for me to call him back on July 3rd, the following day, and supposedly he was going to have some numbers that I owe to him. And he did indeed say, "Call me on the 3rd. Call me tomorrow. I'll give you some numbers. And if we can take care of those numbers, we won't have to persuade whatever Department of Water and Power does persuade. I don't know what that meant. So I don't know if he was trying to maybe make some extra money on the side or whatnot, because that's kind of unusual. He says to me, we only take cashier's check. So I'm just kind of on the iffy part, like whether if it's a bluff or a bogus, somebody trying to think he could come in here and just because I'm such a nice person, I allowed him in here. But usually, you know, I had no idea, like the way he presented himself, like he's some sort of a, you know, big time government, Los Angeles City Department of Water and Power, like chairman, or I hope it's not the vice president coming out here trying to turn people's powers off with false information unlawfully. And I am planning on going and seeing the mayor, if I have to take care of this issue and this matter, because I can't, have my father here on his birthday with no power. One, two, they ruined my entire 4th of July weekend where, that's the only holiday throughout the entire year that I actually do take my time and think and, say like, wow, a lot of men and women have gave their lives for us to even have some ways of like, remembering, and that's a certain day that a lot of people, the Latino community knows 4th of July, but besides the Latino community, there's other foreigners in the country. They just take advantage of 4th of July as some sort of a holiday. Yes, it is a holiday, but it's a holiday of remembrance of all the great men and women that have, put their passion, their time, their effort into making this country what it stands to be, the United States. And the United States is one of, my family's favorite countries. That's why I, as an Armenian, well, an American Armenian, was my father's dream to have a child in America, so that way he could help America stay where it's at from the time of its independence. It's really sad. It's really sad that Lewis had to do such of a move without thinking, I would say, without any form of warrant or any legal form of authority to actually do what he did. And going back to the gloves, as Lewis was in the backyard playing with, I don't know, breaker box, as he's taking the panel apart, bare hands, no gloves, he decides to clip some wire or something. And my mother and I, we were in the backyard making sure, like, what are these people doing? Lewis like clipped some wire and there was some sort of sparks that flew out, and I did insist him that, usually we would wear some sort of gloves, sir. If you don't have gloves, I do have gloves inside. And he says, well, no, I do have gloves on my own. Don't worry, I'll wear my gloves. And it's kind of, I was kind of iffy, like, who are these two gentlemen? They're saying that they're from Water and Power. I'm still not so sure. Today is July 5th, and I'm still debating on, like, what and who did this. By turning off my power, they turned off all the power, even the power to my security system, which I do have with an alarm company and my surveillance, my DVR constantly running, recording everything, because nowadays I guess you have to have evidence as far as even to the point of recording for your insurance, because there's so many people out there trying to trip and fall, sue, somebody gets injured, liability is a factor as a homeowner. And I was really shocked how Department of Water and Power would actually just send somebody without having the right, form of approach. One, two, unlawfully walking inside my dwelling into the backyard. Three, you know, saying that he's here to read the panel or the meter, but yet takes the panel apart without his gloves, causes some sort of spark, and my mother and I we were not so far from the breaker box. The you know we were, I would say, at the most like a meter and a half, 2 meters at the most away from Lewis and Aaron, and that's where the spark occurred. And I remembered how I kind of jumped covering my mom because do my mom does have a hard time seeing now because of her stroke. One of her eyes is not well, so she sees with pretty much one eye. Um, and I just wondered to myself, like, why would anybody do something like this? Do they want to rob me, getting rid of my alarm right before 4th of July weekend comes? And yes, 4th of July did land on a Friday, and there is Saturday and Sunday, so he did come and turn my power off on July 2nd, and my power for my alarm is pretty much has a 72-hour backup charge. So July 2nd afternoon to July 3rd afternoon, July 4th afternoon, and by July 5th afternoon, pretty much my power is out. So I'm not going to have no alarm for Sunday into Monday, living in Panorama City, when what's the most important thing about anybody in the world trying to do is security. Security could be in any form. As far as security, you could have money for your security, you can have cameras for your security. Well, you do need money. That does buy your security. And by making money, you do buy more security as far as buying assets, and assets cost money that you should, I think, as a U.S. professional United States citizen, should actually indeed take the time to invest into some sort of a backup plan. Just God forbid something happens and you do need the funds, or you can sell your asset and recover from whatever hardship that is at the moment of your life. So therefore, by leaving me hanging like this, I would say, that's what they say in Panorama City, it's really cruel, and I certainly would like for some sort of justice to be here at the moment for moments like this where authority or any government personnel shouldn't just jump right on the trigger of like, yes, this is it, let's just do it. There should be a much more of a thorough investigation, and as far as entering properties and taking security away from actual U.S. citizens should be overlooked with some overpowered judge, council member, mayor. Hopefully we don't have to get to the governor. That'd be embarrassing, calling the man up, or the lady. I don't even know which one. Brown, I guess. Don't keep up. Didn't ever need to keep up. But I just hope that there will be some sort of positive connection between myself and the judge, with my attorneys, to get whatever I needed back, and to get back on track, and for me to be healthy, keep myself healthy, so I keep my neighbors healthy, my friends healthy, and hopefully one day keep the world healthy. because health is the most important thing. Money, cars, assets is nothing when it comes to your health. And stuff like this does a very big difference to anybody's health. Obviously, to the worse, not the better. So, I don't know, maybe they did affect my health, stress me out to the point that God forbid, you usually, stress doesn't get you right away. Stress gets you like years down the line. And if God forbid anything does happen to me, I am 28, down the line, then we do know what might have been a possibility that could have caused this. So, see you guys soon. Sun's about to come up. I have to take a shower, shave, freshen up a little bit because I usually don't look like this, but I guess for the time being, this is what it is, and I have to deal with it, and I will deal with it, and I will find the solution to all of this. Thank you.